In League of Legends, Ryze is a champion whose abilities deal more damage based on his mana and ability power. On today's episode of LoL Math, we'll be taking a look at whether the Manamune or Archangel Staff will allow him to deal more damage, along with their transformations. First, let's take a look at Ryze's abilities and which will scale from the items. Overload will deal bonus damage equal to Ryze's maximum mana times 0.065 and his ability power times 0.4. Rune Prison will deal bonus damage equal to Ryze's maximum mana times 0.045 and his ability power times 0.6. Spell Flux will deal bonus damage each bounce equal to Ryze's maximum mana times 0.01 and his ability power times 0.35. Moving on, let's take a look at the two items. While we will only be looking at the potential damage dealt from these items, one should keep in mind an Archangel Staff costs 600 more gold than a Manamune. An Archangel Staff costs 2700 gold and will grant 250 mana, 50 ability power, and 10 mana regeneration. It will also grant ability power equal to Ryze's maximum mana times 0.03, effectively granting an extra 7.5 ability power from the item's 250 mana. This will allow Ryze to deal an extra 39.25, 45.75, and 22.63 damage across his abilities. When Ryze is level 18, he will have 1240 mana, which will grant 37.2 ability power if he has an Archangel Staff. The 37.2 ability power will allow Ryze to deal an extra 14.88, 22.32, and 13.02 damage across his abilities. The Archangel Staff will also grant Ryze an extra 5 maximum mana whenever he spends mana, granting an extra 0.33, 0.23, and 0.05 damage with each increase. Both the Archangel Staff and Manamune will transform into a new item when they grant 750 bonus mana, but we'll cover those after we look at the Manamune. A Manamune costs 2100 gold and will grant 250 mana, 10 attack damage, and 7 mana regeneration. It will also grant attack damage equal to Ryze's maximum mana times 0.02, effectively granting an extra 5 attack damage from the item's 250 mana. This will allow Ryze to deal an extra 15, 16.25, 11.25, and 2.5 damage across his auto attack and abilities. When Ryze is level 18, he will have 1240 mana, which will grant 24.8 attack damage if he has a Manamune. The Manamune will also grant Ryze an extra 4 maximum mana whenever he auto attacks or spends mana. Without any bonus mana granted, the Archangel Staff will allow Ryze to deal more damage overall than a Manamune. However, since the Archangel Staff transforms into the Seraphs Embrace and the Manamune transforms into the Manamune when either has granted 750 bonus mana, we should compare the two. The Seraphs Embrace will grant 1000 mana, 60 ability power, and 10 mana regeneration. It will also grant ability power equal to Ryze's maximum mana times 0.03, effectively granting an extra 30 ability power from the item's 1000 mana. This will allow Ryze to deal an extra 101, 99, and 41.5 damage across his abilities. When activated, it will also drain 25% of Ryze's current mana and shield him by the same amount for 3 seconds. If Ryze is level 18 and has all of his mana, the item will shield for 560 damage. The mana will grant 1000 mana, 20 attack damage, and 7 mana regeneration. It will also grant attack damage equal to Ryze's maximum mana times 0.02, effectively granting an extra 20 attack damage from the item's 1000 mana. This will allow Ryze to deal an extra 40, 65, 45, and 10 damage across his auto attack and abilities. When toggled, it will cause Ryze's auto attacks and single target spells to deal magic damage equal to 6% of his current mana. It will then drain 3% of his current mana. If Ryze is level 18 and has all of his mana, the first auto attack or single target spell will deal an extra 134.4 magic damage. This means Ryze's auto attack and abilities will deal more damage overall if he has a Mana and all of his mana than a Seraphs Embrace. A Seraphs Embrace will grant more damage if Ryze only has 1358 mana. Overall, while the damage dealing potential of the Manamune is less than the Archangel Staff, it can become much more useful once it transforms into a Mana. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you'd like to be informed whenever I release new videos. Click the annotation on the screen if you'd like to see the previous LoL Math episode. You can also like LoL Math on Facebook at facebook.com/TrampolineTales and follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/TrampolineTales. Thanks for watching this episode of LoL Math.